Why, hello everybody. Welcome back to our Blender YouTube series on Blender basics and such. With that being said, today we're going to talk about Blender's 3D cursor. So the 3D cursor is this little thing that I keep clicking and it keeps kind of going wherever my mouse is going, wherever I click, which is pretty nice. So this 3D cursor can actually be used as a pivot point or a point of reference or what have you. It's quite powerful as long as you know exactly what you're doing with it. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and just set up a quick example real quick. Hitting Shift C, by the way, snaps that 3D cursor back to the very center origin of the actual 3D viewport, just so you know. That's Shift C again, super fun. With that being said, we can add in a plane, and then we're just going to use this real quick as a point to be like, you know what, I want our cube to go over here. One of the ways you can do this is by placing this, if you're not allowed to, or if you're not, you can't figure out how to actually place a 3D cursor, you can actually just select this tool over here for the cursor and just left click and then press this. On the other hand, if you're using the 2.7x key map, then left click will just do this automatically, which is what I use. So that's like a thing. With that being said, let's just say if we want our cube to go over here, right? What we can do is using our snapping little dialog menu here, which if I hit Shift S on this key map, I'd have to figure out what it is on the other one, but we can hit selection to cursor and we'll just hit keep offset, yay. And there we go. The actual cube goes to wherever the cursor was. So let's do that again. Yay, fun. And of course we can put it back in the center by doing that whole Shift C and then snap it over back to the center. But you're like, but Nathan, what if I wanted to actually, let's just say, move the origin point of this mesh, which currently it's in the middle, it's that little orange dot there. What if we wanted to move it towards the bottom? Because that's the reference that we wanted to snap things to. Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, all we have to do is tab into edit mode or just go over here, but tab is a much quicker option. Anyway, then we're going to select the faces, select that bottom face. We're going to hit Shift S in order to snap the cursor to selected. We're probably getting where we're going right here. And then we're going to go ahead and actually set our origin point to the 3D cursor, which is pretty sweet. I am using some crazy hotkeys here, so don't mind me, but I'll show you actually how to do this in the menus up here, just in case you don't know how to do that, or if my hotkeys aren't matching with your key map, which is quite the possibility, truth be told, but still. With that being said, another way to do this, we can go and back into edit mode, select this here. If we go to, let's see, I think it's a face. Actually, wait a second. We're going to go to, let's see, where's snapping? Snapping, I don't use menus typically. Let's see, select, snapping, where's snapping? Should be around here somewhere. Snap to symmetry, that sounds pretty cool, but no, it's not it. So anyway, snap. So mesh, snap, we just learned something together. I never use these menus, truth be told, because I know all the hotkeys because I'm an old head. Anyway, we're just going to do the cursor to selected, and there we go. And then after that, we're just going to go up to Object, Set Origin, and then Origin to 3D Cursor. And as you can see here, now the little origin mark, that little orange dot, is on the bottom of the mesh. So if I then place our cursor over here on our big plane, and then use that snapping menu again to do selection to cursor, now we have the actual object floating on there. Sweet, we love that. It's a really basic use of this. Now, on the other hand, what if he's over there, but we want to get him, say, over here, but we want to do that by rotating around said point? Well, that's great, glad you asked, because we go up here to the transform pivot point, you can actually set that to being your 3D cursor. Awesome. Don't forget to switch this back to whatever you're using before, if you're getting confused on that, mind you. And we can go over these later. So with that being said, we can actually take said cube, hit R to rotate. We're going to do Z so we can do it around that axis. And then we can rotate that guy just like this. Ooh, fun. Yay. Look at the cube go. Anyway, sweet. So we can rotate it, but we can also scale it around that point, and we can even grab it around that point. Kind of. Anyway, but still, the main thing is that you can use this as a pivot point, as a reference. Also, the 3D cursor is also where things spawn, if you will, or where you create and or add objects. So if you go over to Add, Mesh, and then a cube, yay, cubes, it will add that cube wherever that 3D cursor is. So again, Add, Mesh, right? cube. Ooh, fun. Another thing. Or you can just hit Shift A, and that will add stuff as well, mind you. How about a monkey head? Oh, scaling around that thing again. Ah, silly thing. Whoop. Yay! Monkey head. His name is Suzanne, by the way. Little Blender lore for you. Suzanne was actually named that way because of that Jane Silent Bob movie by Kevin Smith, the monkey that they save. His name Suzanne. Or Susan. Or Suzanne. We just call her Suzanne. Whatever. Anyway, it's Suzanne, not Susan. Don't listen to me. Anyway, I've only been using this program for like 20 years. It's fine. But yeah, so that's a quick overview on the basics of how to use the 3D cursor.